and millions of people will start accessing. It doesn't happen. Most of the times it doesn't happen. So promotional bandwidth is very critical. You need to convince the operator to promote your content on a regular basis. For example, our experience has shown that that an operator like Airtel, if he promotes your content for one single day, you can get close to 50,000 to 1 lakh users accessing your content. So that's the kind of scale that mobile operators operate on. And I am not talking of the entire country, I am just talking of one state. If he just promotes, Airtel just promotes your content in one state for one single day, you can get about 50,000 to 1 lakh users actually subscribing to your content. So promotional bandwidth is very critical. It is very important that when we create content, we have to also think about this aspect. And if you are sure that, typically what happens is a lot of developmental agencies tend to feel that I'll go and promote this content in my area of operation, which is a very good thing to do. But that should be just a pilot to go and, propose something at a national scale. Because all the developmental content which is being created, I mean, there is a lot of duplication, but if we can actually go on the national scale, the same content can be accessed by millions of other people. Most of the content, development initiatives stop after a point in time because people are not willing to pay. Actually, it's not that people are not willing to pay. There is not a, availability of a simple payment gateway is very critical for your content to be paid for. So people are willing to pay, but they are not willing to take the effort to, go to a shop, pay for your content, buy that content, load it on your on their mobile phones. It just doesn't happen. So they need a very simple, easily accessible payment gateway, which they can use and which can very easily, take the payment out of their bills, and they don't have to take any extra effort to pay those charges. So who are the people who have dedicated payment gateways? Mobile operators have, cable operators have, DTH providers have, bill collection agencies have. They have all dedicated payment gateways. People keep coming to them to pay bills. So if you can integrate your content development efforts or your content partnership with people who have payment gateways, there's a larger or there's a higher scope for your content to be paid for and more developmental efforts to take place. So it's very critical to partner with such people. One of my, one of the most important part which I have realized about developmental content, and that this actually applies to all content, whether it is entertainment or any other content, is that if your ideas are any good, you will have to ram them down people's throats. That's the most important point. You cannot have an idea and just say that people will realize the worth of this idea and they're going to support this idea and I'm going to make money, or I'm going to achieve my developmental goals. So it's very critical that in today's media crowded world, each idea needs to be properly executed. So there are a lot of successful pilots done in very in very small areas, and they happen to succeed. But what is very critical is that to take this to the next level, there is a step-by-step process which involves flawless execution capabilities. And what we've realized through our experience in the last 1.5 years is there's a lot of level of micromanagement, people, capital, revenues, egos, negotiations, and I think above all this is patience. You just need to be patient enough for all these processes to take place step by step, because it will take some time before this content is used by millions of people. It doesn't happen in a single day. So I'll just briefly tell you about what ILFS Education does and the reason why we are here. We are a company, we promote education and learning through the use of technology. A new media division which I head has recently been set up, and we focus on education, learning and information services through mass media channels. So we work with mobile operators, we work with broadband providers, and we work with DTH operators. Our mobile learning content reaches close to 500,000 people every month, and now we are there on the DTH platform, so we are looking at about another 500,000 people to reach through our content. Over the last 1.5 years, we've had formal partnerships with all the leading telecom operators in the country, and our content is now being ported, and almost 95% of our content is developmental content. It is being ported through these operators. And one of the most important points I want to make here is we are looking at content partnerships with content providers who we can help take their content to scale through these operators. So it's very critical that we start talking at the initial level, and we can see if there are opportunities which we can work together on. And this is one of the most important lessons we learned, that if you have to disseminate good content to millions, content development is just a beginning. Content development is not the end, it is just the first baby step that you take. And I think you've just done 10% of the entire work that you need to do. 90% involves all the other execution related issues that you need to undertake so that it reaches the millions of people. Thanks.
Thank you. That was a good presentation, and I'm glad that you're taking on such an important task. My question is, your focus was on the content side of it. Do you also cover mapping it to individual user usage patterns, statistics, how the user is accessing certain information over other information, and gathering across the platform statistical information to say what is useful, what hasn't been useful, and then is there a loop mechanism in your development platform to say that if that is of purpose or used, then how do we improve that? And the second question that I have is the platforms that you've chosen, the mobile platform, the DTH platform, are quite different from each other. The mobile